Hey guys, Stuart, William Henry, g'day. Shed Shop, James P, hello. I don't know if there'll be any launch in this one. There might be some launch, I don't know. We'll see. Are we back? Hello? You're back, okay. I haven't been anywhere. I haven't dropped stream at all. James is there. What happened? I don't know. Um, I don't know. I didn't drop out. The picture didn't drop out. I'm still getting your comments, but obviously wasn't transmitting. But anyway, it's not very much to sort of see anyway, so it's a bit of a waste of an hour for everyone. Should have had a bit of lightning and thunder, nice. We've just had a miserable bit of rain today. It's supposed to be fine enough, but I don't know if it is. Maybe it is. We've had a lot of rain. A thing called the ex-tropical cyclone. Oh gosh, it was only about category. It was only a tropical low, really, by the time it come to here. But we had a lot of rain, like crazy amount of rain. I think we ended up with about 300 millimetres here, which is quite a lot. So as a consequence, I haven't done very much at all. I sort of put up with the rain and prep for some bad weather, and which never eventuated. Haven't been anywhere, haven't done anything. Hey Raymond, hey Mark. Yeah, that's a foot of rain. That's exactly right. Places have had more. Yeah, the centre of the cyclone was only moving like 7 kilometres an hour. So to move 70 or 80 kilometres is 10 hours. And you're going not a real straight sort of a line either, depending on the surrounding weather conditions and coast and stuff. So it's a bit slow. Anyway, I'm in here on my drawing desk, which is a bit of a schmozzle actually, because I'm building a model truck and I'm not in the workshop today, which is sort of a first probably. But not a lot to show except that I've made a little bit of progress. I've done a few bits, I guess. This is coming together slowly. This is the engine hood or the bonnet, I guess, or the cab floor, whatever you want to call it, bend forward control. Steering column goes there in that socket. This is the back cab wall. The driver sits here, and the passenger sits here. Don't know if anyone's even interested in this stuff. this is offset to clear the engine and to give the driver a little bit more room than the passenger. And there's a cutout on this corner here to go around the clutch pedal and the steering column, and there's some instruments on here, another instrument on top here. But these Fodens had the speedo in the top of the steering wheel. So I've put these on with magnets, right? So they should lift off. The driver's side one's fastened in place, so it's going to have a bend around here. And we'll paint that one up and put it in place, and it should stay there. This one's supposed to hinge, but we're still working on that to get to the prime and pump and stuff for the motor. Why is it so short? It's kind of how it is. It's only a little truck compared to a modern truck. They're only fairly small. It's not just the engine that's big. It's 180 horsepower, 180 Gardner. This is pretty well finished, actually. It's a 12-speed box, 12-speed Foden box on this side. And look at this, the cam box and the fuel pumps on this side, and the generator drives off here. Move this out, move it in, I don't know what's best. There's a fan and the fan shaft and the front cover on there. Covers them up, an air compressor, a fuel filter and an oil filler and a fuel oil filter. And on this side it's got the manifolds and your top and bottom water pipe and a starter motor, and there'll be I guess an exhaust pipe down here. So I've done these. These were originally put the steps on the front wheels because they never had those, and blocked out these holes, which is a lot of messing around, and I'm not sure whether it's worth it, but this gives us proper Foden wheel with the 2 gaps in it. So they're all assembled and together, or most of them, because I've dropped one. The back wheels, we've changed these to brass because the old ones are crap, and there are reasons I did this. But this is the back wheels. I'm going to put some chrome on these. Well, they should make a brushed chrome. And these are the covers that go over the top. So rather than what it had, it's got these. So it gives us our final drive. It pushes on there. It does actually push on there, but I'm not going to push it on there because it's hard to get off. And I'll break something. I've just printed those. So that gives us our back wheels there. And final, these were gear reduction in here. So that's why they're so huge in the insides. So that's all right, but I've lost one wheel out there in the garden. So I've got these bits all done, and then when I brought the paint inside, I discovered I never had one because I went outside and painted it. So the middle piece for the other wheel's gone. Might turn up. Yeah, if it turns up, we'll put this together. And we'll have 2 wheels, but otherwise we might have to source another one. I'm not sure it's a piece we can 3D print. Anyway, that's a bit of a mishap. Tyres come with this is sort of a basis, it's based on a kit. It's a Telluride Volvo F12 kit. And some of these bits are Volvo bits, right? Not very many of them, but some of them are. The diff is, right, or the bottom of the diff. I've actually modified it and put a worm drive on it because that's how it should be. And the rest's all 3D printed pretty much. So we've got rear springs. This has still got to have some sort of brake levers on it across the front here. I think it's got an offset brake lever sort of thing. They were hydraulic. I don't think there was any air brakes on these. But look at the size of look at the spring, the shortness of these springs and the amount of leaves in them. It's a 15-ton back end in this. And not much lighter in the front. Last night I put the battery box on, so if you can see that, we've got, these need a bit of a paint up, and once they're all back together I'll glue them in place. But it's 4 batteries, gives us 24 volts for the big gardener. And front cross member. Radiator assembly, which goes on there. There's not a lot of references to this front end, and some of it's sort of guesswork, but there are a few pictures of them with the cab off, I guess. So this goes on here and this one here. Slides up there, it goes there somewhere like that. Gives us some sort of a, it sort of fits, theoretically. Supposed to fit. So yes, it's a tractor unit. It's a very short truck. Like, it's only 10-foot wheelbase really, here to here, in full size. And whether we put a couple of options for a tractor truck. One is a turntable, and this is the Volvo one. I'm not sure whether this is what's going to go on here or not. It's a bit wide, so probably what would have happened is space a piece of angle along the side here on each side to hold this out and up a bit, get it in the right spot. So whether we put a modern turntable on it, I don't know. This is a fairly basic thing that come with the kit, but I'm not sure whether we're going to live with that or not. It's probably all right. Means at some point it probably needs a trailer, but it might be a long way down the track. Other thing is we put a ballast box on it behind the cab, so a wooden box on the slope side. There's lots of room for sign writing and stuff, and that makes a tow tractor out of it. Thanks, Bill. So don't know what's happening there. Not sure. This is sort of this is the cab, right? Zoom that out for you. This is not how it's going to be made. I 3D printed a couple of these just to see if I could print it in one piece. But this one's got support problems. This is ABS. It's very fragile in here and very difficult to put together. And also, because this is a full curve around the front here, this has got a flex to go over the engine cover of the hood when it goes in place, you see, because this has got to fit inside it here. Quite a bit further inside than that. Up level with the floor there somewhere. Further up than that, it's got to go up there somewhere. So that's not an easy thing to get on and off. Once all this is put together in proper truck form, even if we put a bit more space in this cab, which we will, I think we're going to hollow this out in here a bit more, make a recess, so it fits the radiator a bit better. It's not going to all go on in one piece. So I've split this up in the drawing up into 4 pieces. I can print this easy. I'm going to put some wood paneling or some wood framing on the back there like it should have. And sorry, Bill. Seeing what a printer can do is fun, but there's a lot of years printing stuff to get it to this point, and there's some interesting compromises still. So you're going to make this separate and stick that on right, when this is in place nicely. Maybe shift this radiator, put this in place where it should be, there somewhere. Print this and stick this on the back here first, I think, and probably the side pieces, and put on the guards. There are better quality printers out there, but yeah, it's a learning curve too. So there's one off my printer, which is quite a lot better cab I've printed. This is printed upright, which means that the layers go this way rather than this way, because the blue one's printed this way. And this is much stronger in here, but it means these ones are much weaker. So that one's broken there already, see? But this is a much better print really, because it's this line here that's got the support issues, and that cleans up nice. So I feel like we're going to print this in 4 parts and put it together, put this one and the 2 sides on, and or this one and the front one on supports. It'll need finishing, it'll need a fair bit of finishing this, but I think I'm going to do it in 4 parts. This isn't the one that we're going with, but if we have a look. It's the sort of pretty much the guard as it fits. I don't know, that's sort of how it fits. So ideally these need to go underneath the floor here like that. Right, so if we put these one on each side like so, then the whole side panel can go in place, probably. don't know. There are some issues with 3D printing models like this, and there's probably reasons you don't do it. And one is that this particular plastic, while it prints very nicely, hey Darren, doesn't stick with ordinary model cement, which is a bit of a problem. This is ABS, and that does stick with just ordinary metal models. See, I stuck this piece of angle in here just to prove a point, and that's quite solid. So if you printed it from ABS, which requires a little bit more complicated printer, then you could put it together with styrene cement, and that's a lot less mess. But this is all put together with super glue, which isn't all that much fun. So I don't know, I'm sort of running out of steam on this a bit for a few days or a week or something, and I've got stuff to do for steamroller parts and actual work to do. But I've made a pretty good progress. I was going to get it on its wheels and going to get a coat of paint on this, but I'm still waiting for a front end. This one would probably support it, this plastic one, but there's a fair bit of weight in it. And a white metal one's available, which is quite nice. And I've ordered one because it wasn't very expensive, a few dollars. So I might as well wait for that to come, I think, and we'll put that in place underneath the front axle there and put U-bolts and stuff on it and get it all going and get the steering arms and things. And get a coat of red paint on this to match the wheels, this colour, I think, and a coat of gloss on top. And then we'll have a chassis on wheels with steering and stuff. And we can start thinking about superstructure and things and what we're going to do with it then. But like Bill says, oh yeah, it's a mixed field team because there's a competition and it's a very mixed field. There's some guys that are with him, you know, the whole hinge doors and a lot of Australian Max and Kenworths and some Euro trucks, not very many. There's a whole, I guess, a whole community of people making parts and things for them, but not many Euro shop. But yeah, like Bill says, this bit's got to fit this bit and it's got to fit here and there. And all these pieces get printed 3 or 4 times. That's sort of how it is. The other really good thing about 3D printing something, or having a 3D printer, is that if we need to make all this line up, then we can make a jig to set the diff on. And line up with the chassis so that we can actually glue all these bits up nice and square without putting them on the chassis frame. Things like that are a definite advantage, and the rest is just imagination really. You can go where you like with it. But there's a lot of messing around with this design because these engine mountings are going to line up with the engine. And this is the engine, see. And a lot of it's just work out where it all fits and then redesign it until it does fit, and redesign it and redesign it and redesign it. So that goes in there, but when that's red, we'll glue that in place and that'll be done. a very short tail shaft in this. Might lift these batteries out so we don't lose them. I'm going to turn it over. Very short tail shaft. It goes from here to here. It's about 25 millimeters long. There's a fuel tank goes on this side. So really, it's a crazy slope. And this, of course, fits over the fan nicely here and all fits in place, see? Yeah, pretty short-tailed little tractor. If I had known that I was going to lose this beast, I would have just bought 2 kits and put tandem drive on it. But that didn't happen, so yeah, you really only need 1 kit, but until you lose a piece, which is a bit of a problem. So I've got to, that'll turn up, I think. It's here somewhere. So there's a lot of levers and steering and stuff to go on this once the steering's on and once it's all in place, but a lot of that will go on after it's been painted and the engine's in place. And we can start thinking about, if we've got all this in clearance under the bonnet, then yeah, then we can start thinking about putting a cab on it. And all the hundreds of little variations on this that we can do. Bit of work in this bit. There's a lot of CAD work and a lot of complicated curves. If you notice, there's nothing on here that's actually straight. So these are actually all compound curves on the sides. This one's actually just a straight curve down the front. This one's a flat side, but these ones are compound this way on a bit of an angle. To put LEDs in the headlights, there's no space in front of the driver here. There's no room in here. We've got, what, 4 mil, something like that. I really don't know what was in this side here, whether they had a tin box in the corner for headlamps, or whether they were actually... I can't find very many inside the cab pictures because they were so cramped and no one ever took pictures of them. And there's not even very many modern day rally pictures. But I don't know whether they had a tin box in the side here. There's actually there's a brake and an accelerator pedal here, and a throttle pedal and a brake pedal and a clutch pedal in here as well. So there's not a lot of room for anything else. It'd be very easy to print these batteries all in one piece and put a 3-volt battery in here for sure. Inside the battery box and run wires and things. That's probably not a big deal to put like headlamps and stuff in it, but even if you use a tiny little headlamps, there's not a lot of room in there, and I'd have to have a bit of a look. But that's all down the track. I've got 6 months to build this. I've got so much else to do while I'm doing it, and I'm procrastinating stuff by doing this, which is a bit of a... It's not a very smart thing to do, but anyway, we're getting there. Thanks, Bill. We will talk about it at some point, but it's not going to happen yet. So that's where we're at. Someone asked about paint. This is quite nice, I think. It's all water-based. And this is, there we go. This is what we're going to paint the chassis with. So that's a matte like that, and then there's a clear goes over the top. Hopefully we can get a reasonable coat of paint on it. Whether this cab's actually this colour. Hello. Wash airbrush with Windex. Yeah, I haven't got an airbrush here. Dan's got my airbrush on loan or out of the way, so I didn't start a project like this. I think it's more like how it is. So that's sort of what's happening. That's where we've been with that. It's pretty. Canberra, good day. Yeah, this is all just acrylic paint, and basically a decent clear over the top to hold it all in place. But a bit of a job, to be honest. Excuse me, guys. I'm trying to stay awake. Anyway, what else is happening in the big wide world out there? Nigel's got a couple of new videos out. Chirpy put a new video out about his air system. Looks like it's all up and running, which is really nice. And he's had a good clean out and put some electrics in. It's pretty exciting. Who else has got videos out? And the great Tom Limpton started Monday Night Meatloaf again. Yeah, don't put Windex in with your enamels. That's very true. But trying to get away from enamels a bit with this. So Craig has a video out tonight. I saw that. Yes, I'm going to have to go and watch that, I guess. Hasn't seen anything of him for the last 12 months. Don't know where he's been. I guess we'll find out if we go and watch the video. This is all I got on my bench today. There's no other real actual, because of the rain, and it has been a bit wet, because of a fairly constant deluge through the workshop out the back with the milling machine in it. I haven't actually done any fouler bits, but it's drying out, so we'll get there. We were supposed to go to Dan's this weekend, but as far as I know, the road's not open yet, so I'm not sure, and I'm not really feeling at this point like driving down there, but I'll make an effort if I've got to. See what's happening. I actually drilled these out and put brass tubes in them. or clean the holes out and put brass tubes in them, and then put 3.5mm brass rod here. So got nice wheels that don't wobble anymore like they usually do. I don't have this size wheel though, which is a bit of a problem. Stuart, that'd be a very useful thing to have. Mine hinges up, but it's still got this big base underneath it. At the moment it's flat, but I haven't, yeah, it's very useful to have it hingeable when all this is off it. These are part of the kit. I'm not sure whether I'm going to put them on or not. On the back. Probably makes it legal. But this has got these square, like solid square mounts for this. Which is supposed to go through slots in here. And if I was printing it again, I'd probably design it so that these do go through the slots and you could glue them. But probably make some brackets for these and put them on. I don't know whether I like these or not. I'd like to see aluminium tubes through here with through angle brackets on each side. I think that'd be nicer, but I don't know. Something like that, Stu. You could probably just put a couple of hinges on a couple of cupboard slides mounted vertically. If you're only looking for two positions for it, some sort of a lock on them to stop them moving up and down, or a clamp on them. And that might be a cheap and easy way to do that. And then just a hinge, so you slide it up out of the way and change the clamp so it holds it in place, and then you slide it down and something under the front, or don't know. Anyway, one of the problems with having it go flat is that when you do go flat with it, you intend to use it for other jobs as well, and that means that you've never got a drawing surface. And it takes up a lot more room that way around. So that's something to think about too. Was there a video from Mark? I think so. There was a cyclone update anyway. You got a shed full of water as well. But he's got a live stream tomorrow night. You should go and check that out. I'll try and make it home in time to do that. And try and get some sleep tonight so I'm not actually just crashed out watching it. So there's not a lot else to add really. Awesome, Mark. I look forward to that. Might watch it on the way home from work. Golly. Anyway, I've sort of run out of steam, guys. Thanks for tuning in and watching this. It's not very exciting and it's not very workshop related. And it's sort of very slow English truck related, but only just. Sort of plastic slow English truck related. I was probably going to get a book out and share it or something and have a bit of a look at some other things. But laser cannon elephants, yes. I'm reading this Canberra. I'm trying to get my head around that. Back in Tasmania when I was younger, an artist friend of mine had a very nice O-gauge clockwork, an electric railway, quite a big one in his double garage. You need that photo, Bill. I'm not sure that this is going to look anything like the photo when we're done. In fact, I'm hesitant to share the photo around in case people expect it to be a circus truck. But I'm not sure the circus truck's really what I want to do at the moment. If I made it into a tandem, then I would have been tempted, and I probably should have done that, but I would have had to actually buy something. But yeah, Greg Waddle had quite a big O-gauge layout up in the ceiling on pulleys, which come down seriously big in traditional style with green painted baseboards and lots of track and lots of stations and buildings and things. It must have been quite heavy, but it did run some fairly big engines on electric track at full volume, flat out. So it was a fairly big railway, and it always struck my imagination that if you had to get a workshop with a high ceiling, that'd be what you'd do. But it's never ever happened. Unlikely to ever happen. There's a picture of was posted by a friend who is sort of matriarch of a very well-known Australian travelling circus family. The Ashtons, and there was one of their trucks from the 1960s, early 70s, 1960s, I would think. Which basically open deck float with sides on it and a heap of elephants standing in it, and a basket on the front for old tyres and things for barricades. And that was a Foden FG, I think it was probably FG Prime Mover. But I've sort of showed that picture on Discord, but I'm hesitant to share it around because it's not really where this is going now. I'd very much like a drop-down railway, but railways you get a Scammell, it's a slow truck, a bit hard to get bits for. Little birdie told me that there is a S20 Foden up for sale at some point at a reasonable location by someone I know. I don't have space to put it, I don't have time and money. give you some idea of a breakdown on a vintage lorry. It probably cost you nothing to buy it, but then a restoration is going to be expensive. To do a Gardner 6 LXB or whatever up, it's going to cost you, even if you do it yourself, it's going to cost you 15 grand for bits. If you buy something that'll cart a steamroller around, then that's an 8-wheeler probably, and that's 10 grand worth of tyres, realistically. You got to do a gearbox up with bearings and a lot of odd stuff in it. Probably going to need a new radiator. You're going to need to do new woodwork in the cab and probably resheet it. And it's going to have decent coach paint and some sign writing and all that stuff. The realistic and unhappy circumstances is to build one from scratch or from a wreck or from something that's sort of suitable. It's going to cost you 40 grand, and that's not going to happen. You also need somewhere fairly sizable to put it that's local to where you're travelling, because they're fairly slow. This thing would have been flat out at, like highway truck, flat out at probably 30 mile an hour. Like 30 mile an hour empty would have been a big, pretty quick sort of a trip. And fairly hot and fairly noisy. So, not a practical thing to own at all. Just so we know. Just keep that thought out there. Anyway, I'm probably going to call this, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate that. I'm going to go to bed. I'm done, basically. Had a crazy big day today. It was just one of those days. It's been one of those weeks, really, with the rain. But today was pretty busy. Take care. The only reason that I would buy a truck is something to move a steamroller around, but I can't see that happening either. And if I did, it would be something a bit more modern and a bit more practical, I guess. But where's the fun in that? Anyway, I'm out. Be kind to each other. Posting pictures of this as we go on Discord if you're really interested in scale models. I don't know if anyone really is interested in 1/24 scale stuff. There is Bill, who's making some really cool stuff at the moment in plastic modelling. And Tea and Biscuits, I think, started a Volkswagen or a van or something, and I'm not sure how that's going. And there's Stuart, who needs some encouragement to start something. So in my Discord, there's quite a few people who are messing with these, but they're bad influence on me. But hopefully next week we'll be back and we'll have some actual real engineering done and some actual real parts made for steamrollers and things. So anyway, I'm out, guys. Thanks, and we'll catch ya.